What if I told you that the way you water your garden is actually a written invitation for every pest in your neighborhood to move in? Every slug and aphid you've ever fought, you called them there. And you did it while feeling proud. Today I'm revealing 5 watering mistakes that turn your garden beds into a free buffet for pests, mistakes that feel like great plant care. Mistake number 3 will shock you the most, because it's the exact habit most gardeners brag about and think is saving their plants. Scientists have confirmed it is doing the complete opposite. And mistake number 1 is the worst of all. And at the end, I'm revealing a technique called the Decoy Drink, a simple watering trick that makes pests bypass your vegetables completely, and I have never once seen it written in a gardening book. Alright, let's get into it. Mistake 5. Watering densely crowded plants. Over 70% of pest infestations in garden beds happen because of one thing gardeners never suspect: not the soil, not the season, but how tightly they packed their plants together. When plants grow too close together, there is no space for air to move. Each plant breathes out moisture through its leaves all day long. But when plants are packed tight, that moisture gets trapped between them, it has nowhere to go. The space between your plants stays permanently wet and humid, and that wet, warm pocket is exactly where aphids, spider mites, and fungal pests love to live. They hide deep inside the crowded leaves where you cannot even see them, and they multiply fast. In a crowded bed, spider mites can produce a whole new generation every 5 to 7 days. Before you know it, every plant is gone. Space plants properly to allow airflow. It makes it physically harder for pests to jump from plant to plant. If beds are already crowded, thin them out before your next watering session. Mistake 4. Watering weed-infested areas. It starts with just one small patch of weeds in your garden bed. You water the whole bed, including the small patch of weeds. But within weeks, your vegetables are crawling with aphids, thrips, and whiteflies, and you have no idea why. When you water the whole bed and weeds get watered too, you keep them alive and thriving. And weeds are not just ugly. Weeds shelter and feed pest insects all season long. Green peach aphids, for example, build up massive numbers on common weeds before attacking your vegetable crops. Weeds also serve as overwintering hosts for insect pests, keeping them alive and ready to attack even when your garden plants are dormant. Every time you water, you are feeding the launching pad. One weed-harbored aphid colony can wipe out an entire lettuce or spinach bed. Pull weeds before watering. Never water a bed that still has weeds in it. Starve the bridge and the pests lose their base camp. Mistake 3. Spraying water from your hose at full blast. Take a close look at the soil in your garden bed after you water. If you see tiny mud splatter marks on your lower leaves, you are making a fatal mistake. When you blast water at full pressure, it hits the soil hard and shoots tiny mud droplets into the air. Those mud droplets land on your plant leaves, and that mud carries disease and fungal spores straight from the soil onto your plants. Once that disease takes hold, your plant gets weak. And a weak plant is exactly what pests are hunting for. Aphids, whiteflies, and thrips can fly straight to it. Then they feed, multiply, and spread to every healthy plant around it. One full blast watering session starts a chain reaction you will not even notice until your entire bed is infested. Turn the pressure down, water slowly and low. Keep the nozzle close to the soil, never blast from above. Real quick, if this is already changing how you think about watering, hit that like button right now. It helps more gardeners find this video before they make these exact mistakes. And drop a comment below, tell me which one of these mistakes are you guilty of. I will read every single one. Now let's keep going, because the next ones are the ones that breaks every gardener's heart. Mistake 2. Watering in the evening. It starts with just one evening watering session. Feels kind, right? You don't want your plants baking overnight, but within 48 hours, your damp soil has become a 5-star hotel for pests. When you water at night, the soil stays wet for hours in the dark. Slugs only come out in damp, dark conditions. The Royal Horticultural Society confirms that evening watering provides ideal conditions for slugs to move around at night. One season of evening watering can cost you 8 to 10 weeks of root damage you'll never see coming. Water early in the morning only. Your soil dries out through the day and pests have nowhere to hide. Mistake 1. Shallow, frequent watering. Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you water every single day, your plants still look weak, pale, and half dead? When you water a little bit every day, the water only reaches the very top of the soil. It never goes deep. So your roots never grow deep either, they stay right at the top, close to the surface, and that top layer of soil stays damp all the time. Fungus gnats love damp soil. They lay their eggs right there in the top 2 inches and their bobbies hatch and eat your roots directly. Because the soil never dries out, they never stop. They just keep breeding, keep feeding, and keep growing. You water daily thinking you're helping. You're actually running a pest nursery 2 inches below the surface. Fungus gnat larvae can destroy seedlings in as little as 17 days. That's an entire seed tray gone, weeks of work wiped out silently underground. Water deeply but less often. Let the top 2 inches of soil dry out completely between waterings. No damp surface, no nursery. Here is what bad watering looks like versus what smart watering looks like. Bad watering is watering every single day on a fixed schedule. Smart watering is checking the soil first and only watering when the top 2 inches are dry. Bad watering is soaking a bed full of weeds. Smart watering means pulling every weed first, then watering. Bad watering is blasting your plants at full pressure from above. Smart watering is turning the pressure down low and keeping the nozzle close to the soil so mud never touches a single leaf. Bad watering is cramming plants together and drenching them daily. Smart watering means giving every plant room to breathe before a single drop hits the soil. The difference is not how much water you use, it is how much attention you pay before you water. Now here is the technique I promised you, and I have genuinely never seen this explained in a single mainstream gardening book. It is called the Decoy Drink. Here is how it works. Instead of trying to stop pests after they arrive, you give them somewhere better to go before they ever touch your vegetables. You plant a small sacrificial plant, called a trap crop, just 3 to 8 feet away from your main vegetables. Pests have preferences just like people. They will almost always choose their favorite plant over everything else nearby. Then here is the key watering move nobody talks about. You water that trap crop more generously than everything else. More moisture, more lush tender growth, exactly the conditions that attract pests. Nasturtiums lure aphids away from tomatoes. Flowering tobacco pulls tomato hornworm moths away from your crop. They lay their eggs on it instead of your vegetables. Research at the University of Missouri confirmed that trap crops planted 3 to 8 feet from the main crop effectively lure pests away, close enough to smell, too far to jump back. The pests swarm the decoy, your vegetables stay untouched. You remove the trap crop once it is covered and the infestation goes with it. No chemicals, no sprays, just water used with intention. So there you have it, your water can either protect your garden or destroy it. The choice is made before you even turn on the hose. Fix these mistakes one at a time, start with just one today. If this changed how you think about watering, subscribe, because every single time I bring you the gardening secrets nobody else is talking about. I'll see you in the next one.